lights go on. And out they go. And it's a pretty good start by Tim Probert from the outside of the front row of the grid. Martin Farmer too has got away well. He slotted it through into second place there. So Craig Bell has gone down to third position. Looks like Matt Harbert is there in fourth in the Dominator as they climb now up towards Druids for the first time in this race. It is still the red car of Probert that's ahead. It looks like Elliot Mason now has slotted into third place in the Shane. He's got himself ahead of Craig Bell as well. Bell down to fourth place. He might lose that as well to Matt Harbert. And I think it's possibly Matthew Hyde, who's also well up there in about sixth position.
Yeah, Probert's going away. He threw it away. He was a spin yesterday. Had a big spin at Paddock Hill Bend, did Tim Probert. But he's got a lead of 7 or 8 lengths at the moment towards the end of this first lap. Farmer in second place. Third is Elliot Mason. Fourth is Bell. Then it's Harbert and Hyde, as you say, side by side. Hyde going around the outside of Harbert at Paddock.
Yeah, indeed, the teenager from Essex up to fifth place then. Harbert then almost losing a position to Vaughan Jones. They're the Abergavenny driver who leads the championship, third in the championship last year. But Vaughan Jones still in seventh place for the moment. So it's Probert leading, Farmer second, and Mason third. Mason in the Shane. Well, he's in one of the Class B cars, which run to a slightly more basic specification effectively, but they're still very competitive, as we've seen in previous seasons as well, with the likes of James Harridge. But Mason here getting a really good run on Martin Farmer. He's very wide there through Clearway towards Clark Curve. He's going to switch to the inside line, but Farmer's going to cut that one off, and now he's going to attack Tim Probert for the lead of the race. They're going to go wheel to wheel into Paddock Hill Bend, and can Farmer get it done? Yes, he can. Martin Farmer goes through to take the lead of the race at the start of lap 3. Probert down to second, Mason third, and Matthew Hyde is going to go up to fourth place as well at the expense of Craig Bell.
May even get third out of this, but he's squeezing through, on the inside. Hyde there. That's very, very close between these three.
Certainly is. It's allowing Farmer to make his escape, though, isn't it? Mason to second, Hyde to third. Probert was leading at the start of the lap, now back down to fourth position. Craig Bell fifth, and Tim Probert, and Matt Harbert, should say, sixth position. This is a proper Formula V race.
It's a very good one, isn't it? And that was well done by Tim Probert for just giving Martin Farmer just enough room into Paddock to make it happen last time through.
That's right. So up and over the line they come, and now Matthew Hyde, who's having a really good run here, is up into second place. He started this race in 8th position. He's gone around the outside of Elliot Mason, or has he? No, he's
Mason's
back
got
in
back
behind.
Inside him.
Mason goes fairly deep, though, into Paddock Hill Bend, and Hyde will get the run on him up into Druids, but he can't do anything with it. Meanwhile, Vaughan Jones is jousting with Matt Harbert as well. He's got Francis Twyman in the 88 car around the outside of him. It's really about 8 cars in this leading group. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And indeed, Twyman has got the better of Vaughan Jones into Graham Hill Bend we saw there.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And a great mix of chassis involved in this class still. Category that started back here in 1967, but they've not letting Martin Farmer get away, are they? You thought he might have had a decent lead, had half a second at the end of the last lap. He hasn't now because Elliot Mason has come back at him, and Tim Probert down the outside of Matthew Hyde there tried to get third place back, but he can't do it. First three, a little bit clear as they come out of the of Paddock, but up to the hairpin. It's going to compress everyone again. Green front of Matt Harbert's car I see in there as well.
Yeah, he's in 6th place at the moment, isn't he? Bit of a gap back to Francis Twyman and Vaughan Jones. Peter Belzy, 9th. He's someone you might have thought might have made a bit more of an impression on this race. And Ben Cressy rounding out the top 10 as things stand. There is Hyde up the inside of Mason at Surtees. And through then onto the outside of McLaren. He can't make that work. Andrew Cooper in 14th place has just done the best lap of 54.24. Not really sure what's happened to him. We've got a car off in the gravel trap I can now see at Paddock Hill Bend as well. I think the driver out of the car. Can't quite see who it is.
Yellow and black. Yellow and black Jack, I think.
So yellow flags waving as the drivers head through this part of the circuit. The car right up against the barriers though, so may well be far enough out of the way to to allow racing to continue. We've got the Mason car on screen there.
Hayden, I think it is, 26.
Yeah, Mason's gone down to 4th place, so Probert's got ahead of him during the course of this lap. So Farmer leading in number 44. Second is number 51, Matthew Hyde now. In 3rd place is 18, Elliot Mason. 4th, number 4, Tim Probert. 5th, number 99, Craig Bell. And 6th, number 33, Matthew Harbert. There you can see the car, and you can see the driver out of the car as well. Most importantly, it's certainly gathered a bit of dust on its way into the Paddock Hill Bend gravel trap. Now Matthew Hyde is attacking for the lead here, but he won't be able to do it at Paddock Hill Bend because there's yellow flags there. So Martin Farmer will have been aware of that and driving accordingly. And up towards Druids they go, and Hyde comes out of the toe, looks up the inside of Martin Farmer's Gack as they head into towards Druids, I should say. Can't make it work there. Is he going to have another attack down towards Graham Hill Bend? No, he's not. But these two are battling and they're bringing Tim Probert very much back into the equation as well. Gap back now to Mason in 4th, and then it's Bell in 5th. So Farmer it is that continues to lead.
I think we'll be looking at an overtaking manoeuvre into Paddock last time round under yellows, but we'll leave it at that. But very, very close, and Probert coming back at them. And it is still the black gang, but round the outside, getting his nose ahead, is Matthew Hyde. Up to the hairpin they come. Has dropped it in the middle of the corner.
Twyman, wasn't it, that spun as one got off
sent
the
Jones
gravel
into the gravel, but Jones got out of the gravel the other end, and Farmer's got it back from Matthew Hyde. Probert's right there as well, but it was the yellow car that spun down. Twyman who did the overtaking at Paddock the previous lap. So he's undone his work there.
Yeah, comprehensively, and still Hyde attack now. He's someone I thought might be challenging for wins this season after a strong debut season last year when he had a few podiums out in this AHS Dominator this year, run by Alan Harding's long-standing concern. Probert's now done the best lap of the race, 53.71 in 3rd place. A few tenths slower than, or a few tenths faster than Matthew Hyde, but they are still jousting, and this time they've got the back mark for John Cressy to negotiate, which they all do on the way into Druids. And it is still Farmer leading from Hyde in 2nd place, but is that going to be the case for much longer? Hyde down the inside into Graham Hill Bend, takes the lead of the race. So it's Hyde now leading from Martin Farmer in 2nd place. There's a slippery surface flag out there as well. That's actually for some bodywork that appears to be deposited in the middle of the road at Surtees.
Yep, that's just I think a nose cone or something that's lurking there. But here they come, and Hyde's broken clear, hasn't he? That's probably half a second or so. And hit a 10th deficit at the end of the last lap. So Hyde has got ahead this time. And it wasn't immediately undone by Farmer.
Vaughan Jones, by the way, is getting the black and orange flag, a mechanical warning flag, telling him he needs to head into the pits. That could be a big problem for the championship leader.
He may have caused some damage when he had to go off through the gravel.
I wonder if that was his nose cone at Surtees.
Maybe.
Possibly it was. We'll see if we can pick up on the Vaughan Jones number 3 car that's in 7th position, perhaps on screen in a moment. We've still got, but believe it or not, 6 minutes in this race.
It's dark blue and white, which I assume it is, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And that car into the pit lane
it's one of the twin cars, isn't it?
James Huckle, I think, 42.
Right.
I reckon, and out of the race. There's Farmer then in 2nd place, so got the lead early on in this race. Lost out to Matthew Hyde in the AHS Dominator. Farmer will be plotting his route back to front. There is the Vaughan Jones car. Yes, you can see the nose cone on screen now is missing, so that clearly was dislodged. Probably the reason for the black and orange flag, which therefore is not now really required, you wouldn't have thought, if that is the case. He's ahead of Peter Belsey anyway on screen.
Belsey, who had that suspension steering arm failure yesterday, coming out of Paddock up towards the hairpin, has made his way through to 8th place, but he's not going to make a lot more progress. But here come the leaders then. Out of Graham Hill Bend towards Surtees. He's round the nose cone. Clark Curve, all named for successive, for 60s Formula One champions.
Yeah, there they go then. Just a quick mention for Martin Snary, marking 10 years in Formula V this weekend. Had a misfire yesterday. Paddock rallied around him, though, to get him back out for this one.
Oh, Farmer around the outside of Hyde. That was audacious into Paddock. He's made it happen and kept the car on the island, which was a phenomenal effort.
Great effort from Martin Farmer there to get into the lead of the race once again from Matthew Hyde. Not certain that this race is over yet. We've got another 4.5 minutes to go for Hyde to try and mount another comeback. They're getting away now from Probert and Craig Bell, who's got back up into 4th position here, and is starting to mount an attack on Probert there as they head towards Surtees. So really got 3 pairs now: Hyde and Farmer, Probert and Bell, and Mason and Harbert. Harbert, I think, now has done the best lap of the race, 53.31. Here comes Hyde, trying to get alongside Martin Farmer through Clark Curve. Is Farmer going to leave him room? Well, he does. Hyde, in the end, doesn't have the momentum to get fully alongside Farmer, so the man from Sutton Coldfield continues to lead the race from the youngster from Essex, who's less than half his age, up towards the Druids. They come. They're about to lap Martin Snary, who was mentioning a moment ago.
Harbert up into 5th, incidentally, in the 33 car. Here they are, side by side again.
This time Farmer on the
interlocking, not quite.
Ooh, it was close,
precious
though.
Close, wasn't it?
It was. Of course, Farmer lots of experience. Hyde not so much, but demonstrating pretty good racecraft, and a bit of a schmozzle in the background there we could see as there was traffic involved as the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th cars were getting past Martin Snary. Has that changed the order there? Looks like it is still Probert ahead within that class.
Nose of Matthew Hyde's car was on the exhaust pipe of Farmer's there, and they've got to go either side of the 34 car, and that was all very dramatic. That was Archie Mason, 34. Wasn't really sure that he knew that there were 2 descending on him.
Yeah, and they're going to be catching Emil Kostadinov now as well to lap his car very shortly. There's the Mace car just going through, and then it's still Probert ahead of Bell, and Mason trying to get around the outside of Matt Harbert there as Druids, and they're overlapping once again at Graham Hill Bend, the 2 leaders. Farmer continues to prevail, though. They're coming up to lap the Kostadinov number 19 Gak. Up towards Surtees they go. They go to the right of it. Does Hyde follow? Yes, Kostadinov well wide in the end, so Hyde able to follow through. We've got probably 3 laps to go here, Marcus.
And that was Kostadinov in the Gold Leaf Team GAC, wasn't it? Very much a sort of period Lotus type colour scheme on it. But Hyde, just a car length behind, closes. He's quick through Paddock. And Matthew Hyde, the young Essex lad, who impressed here when we first saw him a couple of seasons ago, didn't we? And doing really, really well.
And there's Probert up the inside of Kostadinov. Vaughan Jones, the championship leader, has been black flagged. I think he has come into the pits now. So Vaughan Jones, the championship leader, had the black and orange mechanical warning flag. That was upgraded to a black flag in the end, and he has had to pit.
Or downgraded,
whichever way you look at it.
Viewpoint.
If you're a clerk of the course, it's an upgrade. If you're driving, it's a definite downgrade. So still the battle for the lead goes on. 2 laps to go at the end of this one. Martin Farmer, the Torque proprietor, in the lead of the race, number 44, but Hyde in 51, and the Dominator is really pushing on as they come up and over the line. I know Alan Harding was keen to get a win this weekend, but it didn't happen yesterday. It might yet happen today. We're watching Harbert on screen at the moment. Now watching the leaders again as they sweep through Paddock Hill Bend up towards Druids once more. Farmer with the yellow helmet.
Meanwhile,
hangs
Bell,
on.
I think, has grabbed 3rd from Probert.
Let's have a look. No, he's not. Indeed, he's
close.
lost out. He's lost out because Harbert's got ahead of him at Druids there. So Harbert now up to 4th. So perhaps Bell launched an attack. And
Bell tried up the inside coming out of Paddock. It looked like he'd made it, but obviously it cost him dear when he got to the hairpin.
Top 2 now, nearly 3 seconds clear of the rest of the pack, who are fighting with one another. They're going to have one more lap to go at the end of this one. So has Hyde got anything up his sleeve? I think we could be in for a very close finish. They're about to lap once again the number 22 car of John Cressy, father of Ben, who's a bit further up the order. They both go up the inside of John's Storm
and
there.
Harbert's gone round the outside of Probert, And Probert's going to claw his way back up the inside territory. He's got the advantage coming up to the hairpin. The green car is Harbert, the red car is Probert. These are the leaders. 44 is Martin Farmer. And then 51 is Matthew Hyde, who's dropped back a couple of lengths.
Yeah, he has, and that might limit his opportunities now to snatch a late victory away from Martin Farmer here. I thought if he was close enough, he could possibly get him on the run to the line. He's had a decent run through Surtees and McLaren, though.
It's good here. Yeah.
He is good. He's right on the tail again, right on the exhaust pipe, as you were saying. He looks to the right, he looks to the left, but Farmer's a wily old character. He knows how to defend in Formula V, and I think he's just about going to do it for a second win of the weekend in the Martins Group Formula V Championship, but only by a tenth of a second, exactly the same victory margin as he had in yesterday's race, as it happens. So Martin Farmer, number 44, takes the win from number 51, Matthew Hyde, who gave him a very thorough working over there. Number 4, Tim Probert in third position. Number 99, Craig Bell, fourth. Matt Harbert, 33, was fifth. Elliot Mason, number 18, sixth. Then over the line now, we've got Peter Belzy in seventh, number 61. Eighth, number 41, Andrew Cooper. Ninth and 66, Phil Wardhouse. And rounding out the top 10, number 11, Ben Cressy. That changed towards the end as well, that battle for ninth and 10th position. But yeah, that was a really good Formula V race.
Exceptional race, yeah, very, very good. And Martin Farmer just showed he was so determined to hold on there, and he had all the answers, didn't he, to everything that Matt Hyde threw at him.
Certainly did. And as we see Vaughan Jones' car down in the pit lane there, let's take a look at the results of that second Martins Group Formula V race of the weekend. Martin Farmer it was that took the win in car 44 from the teenager Matthew Hyde, 51 in second place. Tim Probert, very experienced campaigner, was third in car number 4 ahead of Craig Bell, number 99. Matt Harbert, just 100th behind Bell in fifth place, number 33. Then Elliot Mason was sixth in number 18, the winner of Class B. Peter Belzy was seventh, Andrew Cooper eighth, Phil Wardhouse second in Class B, ninth, and Ben Cressy rounded out the top 10. Ahead of Francis Twyman after his big spin at Paddock. Fortulla, Matt Topham and Emil Kostadinov, the first driver to be a lap down. And then obviously the rest of the field were all at least one lap down. So behind him it was Martin Snary, Archie Mace 16th, and John Cressy, Vaughan Jones, Sam Engineer, James Huckle and Andrew Hyde, and in various ways didn't make it, I'm afraid, to the checkered flag. So the Martins Group Formula V Championship is going to be next in action at Croft next month on June the 24th and 25th. So just about a month gap before their next meeting. And we will look forward to another, what have we got, 7 races to go after the lunch break here at Brands Hatch. We've got the Race Parts Historic 750 Formula Series coming up straight after lunch. It might be a bit earlier than the scheduled 2:05 start time. Let's head down to the pit lane though before lunch, and Josh Barrett is there.
So we're down here after a very exciting Formula V race. That was a proper Formula V race, Martin, and you just about held on.
Yeah, I think it was harder than yesterday's race all the way through. Probably wasn't the quickest, but yeah, been racing long enough to know where to place the car, I guess. So
it was good to see sort of Formula V back to how it used to be with a big packed car, just like you used to back in the day.
Yeah, I can't see a whole lot in the mirrors, but with that race in particular, like it was just a good, clean battle. Yeah, no contact, and I think there's been a bit of that in the past, so it was nice to have a good, fair race. Yeah.
There was a couple of times I think where you dropped back behind Matt and managed to get back through.
Yeah, I feel like I thought he was quicker than me, if I'm honest, but then when I was behind, I caught him up quite easily. So I think the toe's just that powerful round here that yeah, whoever's second, if you're close on pace anyway, you'll be quicker if you're behind. So.
Are we going to see you some more this year?
Yes, I stuttered a bit then. Will do. Not sure which ones, but definitely be out again.
So. Forward to seeing you later in the year. Well done, Martin. 2 wins this weekend. Matt's over here, who's hiding away. Matt, do you want to make your way over here? Second place there for your great drive, but couldn't quite beat Martin.
No, I mean, I know he's a veteran in the series and he put up a good fight. We did develop some engine issues by the end as well, so that's why weren't quite able to attack. But from 8th, second place is pretty good for the championship, and I know that I've beaten my rivals in it. So
Yeah, Martin just said that he's not doing the full season. The season so far has been quite mixed with everyone scoring points and having problems.
Yeah, it has been. At Donington, basically everyone in the top 5 had at least one DNF apart from Vaughan, who's now had his DNF, so that should put it pretty balanced at the top of the field.
Obviously, yesterday didn't quite go to plan. Were there any problems then?
Well, it's still a new car, so it's, the development has been rapid as we've learnt how to drive it compared to the GAG, so, just learning every session really.
Tell us about the difference of driving the two cars.
Well, GACs are typically very understeery, so you'll find yourself struggling in the mid-corner, but they do have that good top end, whereas the Dominators, very good through the corners, that you can put it in and it will go where you want it. So,
obviously this is your second season in V's, tell us a bit about what you've done before that.
Karting, 2021 was my first year doing the British Kart Championship, and before that was just club level racing, so yeah, that was it really.
And what was the decision behind coming to Formula V?
Well, it's like a big go-kart, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the best formula to learn in my opinion, alongside stuff like MX5, and at your club level racing you get such close competition, so give me all the tools I need for later racing.
And obviously you've been learning a lot last year, now put it into good effect for this season.
Yes, exactly. Hoping to challenge for at the top of the championship, and hoping for the win, of course, as are everyone into the top 10 really, so looking forward to the season ahead.
Well done on second position.
Thank you.
And then Tim Probert, who's behind me as well. Tim, third position up there for you, and I was saying to the other guys, a really good Formula V race, that one. Did you enjoy it?
It was cracking, yeah. It was good fun, and it's my first outing this year, so nice to be towards the front. I'm behind somebody who's 50 odd years younger than me, so I'll do it for the 60 odd year old. So yeah, good fun, enjoyed it, and some good hard racing out there, and but all good clean stuff. So good advert for V, I hope. Yeah.
And what you mentioned there about the driver ages, it shows you Formula V is for everybody.
Absolutely. I mean, I keep thinking I'm getting too old for this, but while I'm competitive and enjoying it, I'm just going to keep going. And clearly we've had the likes of Matt come in, and years ago Ash Sutton. So it's they're good cars. They teach you all the skills, driving skills, circuit skills. So yeah, long may it rain on. Yeah, it's I think it's our 60th anniversary for the Formula in 4 years time. So yeah, hope it keeps going strong.
And I think that race we had 8 cars in the lead battle.
Yeah.
And you were sort of in the middle of it, so is it hard to know whether to look forward or look back?
Well, so I am known as having a very wide car, and I had to drive it at the end. The air scoop's hanging off. I lost loads of power, and therefore at the end I was having to be very defensive. But for a while I was trying to get on the back of those two, but then when I started losing power and the oil pressure light kept coming on because of the heat, I just concentrated on being as wide as possible.
You said you missed Donington. Are you doing the rest of the season, or is that yet to be decided?
No, I can't. I've done sort of 21 full seasons, so I've sort of promised the wife we'll do a bit of travelling. So we were down under for the first one. I'm doing a 900-mile bike ride in July, so I'll miss Snet. And one of my nephews is getting married at Alton Park. Well, at the Alton Park meeting that weekend, so I'll probably get 4 in. But I'll come out and annoy people on the other meetings and try and keep going. Yeah.
It sounds like you've got a busy, and we look forward to seeing you later in the season here.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Josh.